All right.
We still got the song.
We still got the song. Haven't been busted on a copyright for that yet. Welcome back to if anybody's actually came back. I don't know if anybody
We're back.
We're back. We got some numbers for you. You guys want to hear some numbers?
Sure.
First week we did as it counts now as the crow flies, 11,800 views for Peggers 1.
Wow.
And then for episode 2, we got 8,200 views, which is typical because the views usually go down the second week, and then you keep it straight, the baseline, and then you build your way back up again.
Nice. Yeah.
So congratulations to you guys for that. I bet you've never been seen by 11,000 people in any aspect, Speewee.
Me? Yeah. Maybe not. I'm not too sure about that.
Except
Okay.
when he did gay porn for a while.
Ratings, schmatings. Let's just have fun, you know.
Except for when he was pegging. Is that what you said, Rybo?
Something like that. Yeah.
Let's just get
to that.
Let's get to the nitty. We originally were called Peggers. Now we're the Winnipeggers because Peggers is apparently like someone getting anally explored.
Anally intruded.
It is, I believe. So I hear.
Well, we don't have to worry about that. We have to worry about the inaugural cheers. Cheers,
Cheers.
guys.
Cheers, eh?
Nice.
Go
Are we all in the
Go
vodka today?
A little bit. Yep.
Of course.
Jets win today, Speewee?
They did. Yep. 1-1 in the series with the Flames. Yeah.
So they just burning through the playoffs now? They're doing like 4 or 5 games a day or something?
There's a lot of games being played. Yeah, at the hub cities. But Jets played when on Saturday, so today's Monday. So yeah, there's still that day off kind of thing right now.
Okay. Well, we as usual, we leave the real world behind. Nice to see you. How you doing? Good to know you. Loudness Halloween.
There we go.
So we got a topic this week. Our topics were huge. People really enjoyed the topics for the last few weeks that we've done this. And we've got a new one today. And Dave, since this was your idea, why don't you let us know what the topic is for this week?
Well, we're always just coming up with topics maybe that everybody would experience. And I thought, well, how about a life-death experience? Being in our mid-40s and late 40s, we must have had something like that once, come around. So it's near-death experiences here on Winnipeggers.
I have a good one. So do you have one, Rybo?
I got a few, but yeah, I got one at least.
Okay.
But
How about you?
Oh, you want me to start?
Well, yeah, listen. Yeah, why don't you start? The big comment was they love how you're always sweetly smiling.
That's what I do best. I just sit here and go.
Sweetly smiling Rybo. And why don't you kick off this extravaganza this week? So something different than just Dave talking a lot.
Yeah. You're a lot more likable. You smile a lot more. So.
Sweetly smiling.
I'm trying to smile all the time. You notice that? I'm just
you can get plastic surgery and it does
me.
that.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple things. Like I almost died bike riding in Toronto. The Karen LeDrew had a party once in high school, and I jumped on the back of this van, and then those old back of those old vans where they had like the ladder on it so you can get up to the top. I don't know what was on top. But,
like an old school 70s van.
Yeah,
like
whatever those things were. Yeah, it's kind of like a camper van, whatever. So I jumped on the back of that. These guys drove I was hanging out with them at the party all night. They thought I was funny and we were having a good time. They drove for a while and then they stopped. I jumped off. They reversed and drove right over me.
Oh,
and
my
basically there.
Oh, wow.
There I am. They drove over my legs, and someone said there was people that witnessed it. The guys took off after, but someone said they drove over my shoulders, and I'm like, there's no way a van drove over my shoulders, but there was this like mark, like a tread mark on.
Oh my God! Who cares? Look at that picture.
I think when they drove over were both sides of your mullet. It was like
good one. I almost look exactly the same, except no beard in that one. If you can just pencil in a beard, it probably look about the same.
So what happened? Did you just get up drunk and keep on going, or what happened?
Yeah, I was very loaded, so it probably saved my life. I got up, kind of was hobbling around a little bit, and everyone's like, "Oh my God!" And it was, it wasn't too crazy. That's not the one I want to talk about, but that's just that's sort of the precursor.
You're setting it up right now.
That's the aperitif for the
nice
story.
Oh,
I wanted to talk about this one story where, because it involves you, Chris. I guess when you were just, you were just probably at the wrestling school, I guess, in Calgary. So this is probably, I'm going to say 96, 97, something like that. And I was going on my first ski trip, Lake Louise, and you lived in Calgary. And so I called you. This is back before cell phones and stuff like that. So I called you on the landline,
at Palco's house. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And played phone tag a little bit, left messages if they even had those. I can't remember. But anyway, I'm like, man, you got to come out and hang out. And the new Loudness had just come out, the 10th album, Loudness. And you had it from Japan and I didn't have it. And you're like, Robo, you got to hear the new Loudness. Like, it's so awesome. You got to check it out. I'm like, yeah, totally. And we kept like nerding out on the new Loudness and how much we had to like listen to this. And I'm like, I'm going to come there, man. You got to come hang out with us. Slaughterhouse. Anyway.
Welcome to hell. Yeah.
Nice Lin Tang, by the way. Anyway, so we're like, yeah, you got to come check this out, right? Hang out with us or whatever. I'm going to be in Lake Louise. You're going to come out there and visit. That's great. So we kind of hooked it all up, right? So we could listen to this. And then we go there. I'm there with my girlfriend at the time, her 2 or 3 sisters, actually her 3 sisters and their boyfriends. And they rented a chalet and we're all staying at this chalet together.
But who was your girlfriend at the time?
That's
the girl I went to prom with, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Gwen Merrick.
Eskimo brothers.
Oh my gosh.
No.
No. Judy Duncan I went to prom with, not Gwen Merrick. They were friends though.
Very close friends, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But anyway, we I didn't ask them if you could stay with us.
Right.
So you drive all the way up there and you just show up. Like I just left a message. Hey man, you got to come out and check it out. And this would be great. I'm staying at this place. Come check it out. So you ring the doorbell, ding dong. And I answer I answer it. And then I realize, oh my God, I didn't even ask if you could stay there. And I go, hey man, so where are you staying? And you're like, I'm staying with you, you idiot. What do you mean? I just drove up there.
Because you've been asking me to come all week. You got to come hang out. So usually when you go to Lake Louise, you go hang out with the person that invites you there. You don't go get your own hotel.
You feel welcomed and maybe there's even some chips, some food for you, something like that.
Yeah, and there was no Heritage Hotel like there was a Moose Jaw for me to go to.
That's right. There's nothing. And I thought, maybe, and this was before this is when you were just eating a ham sandwich every day because you didn't really, you hadn't made it yet. You didn't have enough money to really support yourself. But anyway, so you came out and we hung out and it was great. But I was skiing one day. It was my first time skiing and I started getting good at it because I was like a pretty good hockey skater. So I was skiing. I was on my 3rd or 4th run down. And, I'm going back and forth. And all of a sudden I'm going back, but not forth. And I went right off the fucking cliff.
No.
Yes. And I'm sitting there and I'm about maybe 8 feet, 10 feet below where everyone is like, I can hear people skiing by and I'm just stuck there. And I'm trying to climb back up wearing skis and I can't, And I'm like, shit, okay, I can't do this. So I decide maybe I can just climb up. If I take my skis off, I can climb up. So I take one ski off and I throw it up to where people are skiing by. And then my foot just sinks in because there's like the tops of these like evergreen trees like this, but they're probably like, 100-foot trees. And it's just straight down soft snow. And I'm like, ooh, that's maybe not a good idea. People are skiing by and they're like, that's odd. There's some skis here. And so it took a while, but I kind of managed to crawl up. I think someone actually put down their ski and like pulled me up or something. They
put them like a cross in the ground so that no one skis by too close to you.
It was pretty crazy, man. I was just like, you just stuck there, not really knowing what to do. I was kind of comfortable. I could have had a nap there and been okay, but like, how do I get?
You could have a nap there and freeze to death like Kurt Russell at the end of the Thing. By the way. R.I.P. to Wilfred Brimley.
Oh, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah. And you're a prairie boy. Like being at Lake Louise is so crazy as it is. Were you in jeans by any chance?
I probably was wearing jeans and just like a t-shirt or something like that.
That's another rule here on Winnipeggers. We never pronounce the letter J in anything, hence the word yeens. And there was always a bunch of skid farmers that would go skiing in Banff, which is like Lake Louise, a really beautiful place, in their freaking jeans, in their yeens. Always.
Yeah.
But you survived.
I survived, and here I am.
Live to tell another day.
Story.
Okay, so that's not bad. That's not a bad one. Not a bad one.
The beginning. I'm on the opening slot, so I thought.
Okay, let me ask you opening slot. Let me
He's
ask.
not getting paid.
Let me ask you this, Rybo, as the lukewarm water on the show. What would be a worse death? Worse by shooting on the side of a highway or drowning?
Shot where?
Dead.
Well, like in the head or something like that. That'd be better than drowning.
I don't know. Shot in the fucking.
You get shot in the stomach and die.
No,
like
you're shot.
later.
This is near death experience, not near wounded experience.
Yeah, but you could die after complications.
You could die.
Without switchblades, you could die.
Okay, so you're dead either way, drowning or getting shot on the side of the highway.
I think probably getting shot.
Okay, then. So that would mean you're next, Dave, and I'll end it up.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I would probably rather drown, I think, than getting shot.
Well, that's what we're saying. Getting shot is worse, so we'll save that till the end. It's the worst death.
Fine. I would just think that if you could drown, though, that at least you don't have some jerk, going, I'm going to kill you. Like, at least you die by Earth. Mother Nature kills you, not some asshole.
Let's take this. Let's take this to the streets. All of the Winnipegger fans. What's the worst way to die? Skiing off the side of a mountain, drowning in front of people, or getting shot on the side of the road in a foreign country. Those are your choices. Choose one and one only. At I am Jericho. Let us know what you think.
Let us know.
Yeah. So Dave, you've been nominated to go next.
Okay, great. Well, I guess I could go. There's been a lot, but I could go to the drowning part. That
well, you could go to. You could build it up a bit if you want.
Well, I know there's nothing to build up. I remember about years ago, I was out visiting friends in Kelowna in BC, where it's all lakes, nice beaches. And there was a girl that I was trying to impress that I had somehow convinced that I was a somewhat professional swimmer, which I'm not a very good swimmer. But I thought I was. It's one of those things. I don't know if you guys ever have this, but it's like when you're a kid, maybe 8 years old or 9 years old, you kind of go, I think I used to do this. Like and my sisters used to always say, let's go swim from Albert Beach to the Sand Cliffs, which was like maybe 2.5, 3 miles on Lake Winnipeg. And I think I never went with them, but I think in my head, I was thinking I used to do that all the time. And I'm trying to impress this girl. I'm like, I used to swim 3 miles deep water. And so she's like, all right, well, let's go swim. I said, well, why don't we go swim out to those boys out there? Right. And she says, all right, so we'll go swim to the boys. And there's
what do you mean? How old are the boys?
Wise, yeah.
Boys, not toddlers, or not boys.
Isn't that pronounced like? Isn't that pronounced? Boy. It's not Flavor Flav. Boy, it's
buoy. Oh, buoy.
Buoy.
Okay, buoys. Okay, yeah, the floatable thing.
Swim out to the boys.
She never gave me another chance. Really, I was. Let's go over there. There's some boys 10 miles down. No, it was very far too. You can see that. You can see just these. White floating buoys. Sorry, go ahead. Boys. Buoys, boys. And anyway, we get out there. We're about 3/4 of the way, and there's a swell in the water, and it's really like just making me feel disgusted, right? And I'm going, holy crap, I can barely see the beach. The boys are still, half a mile away or something crazy. And I'm starting to panic, like really panic. And there's no inflatables, nothing. It's just me and her, and she can swim. And she's like, look, just calm, because I start really freaking out. Yeah, I start really, really freaking out. And she's like, come on, just calm down. You got to calm down. And she's trying to grab, she comes up to grab me because I'm coming under the water, right? And this is scary as hell. And I almost died, and you're giving me the pronunciation of boys.
It's buoy.
Okay. All right. And I'm like, and then she's like, just calm down. So I go, okay. And I go on my back, which I'm more comfortable on my back. Don't take that anywhere. I'm just more comfortable on my back. Nothing to do with peggers.
Boys say.
Yeah. And she's talking me down, and I'm starting to deep breathe, and I start to calm as much as I can calm in that moment. I mean, really. And then I'm okay. I'm sorry to worry. I'm okay. And she must have thought, oh my God, who is this loser? So I started going on my back, swimming towards the boys, but the boys are still super far away. There's still this swell in the water. And my peripheral vision, I see like one of those hotshot boats with a bunch of people partying with music and stuff. I just see it in the side of my eye, like far away. And I just start screaming, help, help. And I'm just panicking. And like, this actually scares me to even tell this story. This is an awful story.
It's hilarious for us.
Bring some ratings. This story almost kills me to tell. Anyway, so I start panicking. It's just brutal, right? And then she's like, look, you got to calm down. You can make it to the boys. So we get a little closer to the boys. I see my friend Malcolm, who's on the beach. He can see that we're now panicking, or that I am, because I've been waving and trying to get his attention. He's super far away. So he tries to come out and save me with an inflatable turtle. Okay, like some dumb toy, and he's like, and he can barely make it. I mean, and I'm super far away, right? So then I do in my defense, I do get to the boy, and I'm hanging on to it, and it's moving back and forth, and she's still treading water. She doesn't even need to hang on to it, but and this is far away. I got to say, like, she just was a good swimmer.
And this is in front of a girl that you're trying to impress, so she's looking at you like, what a loser,
what a loser, yeah, pretty much. So I'm on one end, and then she comes on the other. It's rocking back and forth, and then Malcolm, this guy sees that I'm in stress, and he comes whizzing by Malcolm in a kayak, and he's just flying, and he comes right up where I'm hanging on. This is not stable, this thing, by the way. It's not a regular buoy. The thing just keeps going like this, right? So I'm hanging on for my life. And he comes up, and he's like, I'll take you back. And I'm like, oh, thanks very much. And he had like a rope on the back, and I hung on, and he brought me back. And then I remember him saying, aren't you getting on? She's like, no, I'm fine. I can swim. Like, she actually swam all the way back too, but I'm hanging on for my life. And then I tried to pay him. It was so awkward, dude. It was just the dumbest day. I went back to the beach, and I said, I only got us $20. I can maybe borrow another $20 from my friend. I'm like putting a $40 price tag on my life. He's like, no, I just wanted to help out. And I don't even know if he really saved me. I mean, I guess he did, because there's no way I could have made it back. But
You'd still be there.
Well, and you know what? He was a very outdoorsy G.I. Joe looking character. And actually, I started growing a beard 5-6 years ago, right after this happened. So in honor of the real man that saved my life, I've grown beard for real man. He wouldn't take the $20 or $40.
But because he was a real man and he had a beard, then you now emulated your look after him 7 years later.
Yeah, I still can't swim that well, and I don't kayak, but I got the beard, and I can fool people with it. I could stand next to a kayak. I could say, surf's up, if that's even something in kayak language. Probably not.
You could stand next to a real man and look like a real man yourself, almost.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to look like a real man. You don't have to be one.
You offered to pay him $20.
Yeah, I said I got $20 on me. I could try to round up another 20. And he just was like, no. And I just kept at it. And he's like, it's okay, man. Like, I said, well, you saved my life. And I just felt like giving him, some grab a pizza, get a pizza or something, right?
What did the girls say that you were trying to impress? Were things ever the same?
No, I never really talked to her again. Not much. That was about it. Yeah. It was very highly embarrassing. Like, when I came out of the water, half the beach was standing up watching as you're doing this walk of shame. So yeah, I wasn't too excited. And I almost did die. I mean, honestly, I was gulping back some water. I had to calm down, because you start panicking, and I can see how it would happen. There's no way of dying with dignity anyway, by the way. I'm sure there isn't. So either way, shot in the head by some, jerk putting it right at you, or Mother Nature taking you with a wave. That panic moment was just awful. It was, help me.
How deep was it?
Oh, well, I mean, I didn't measure it while I was out there. I didn't have a device to do that, but no, it's super deep. It's super deep, dude. That's funny though. A couple feet. Just
if you can stand up, you can just stand. Just stand. Put your legs down.
It was long distance, just a couple feet. That's like, I was never a big jumper, like, dirt biking, jumping, or snowboarding or anything, but I always was good on the length. Is there a category for long jump? I guess there is.
Yeah. There's a sport called long jump. You can win a gold medal in it.
Yeah. That's true. It's very deep, extremely deep, swell, very scary.
Okay, well, that's
no guns involved.
That's a bad one.
Can we just bring up the Martin Short, Christopher Guest sketch where he's like, I'm not that strong a swimmer. I don't swim.
As soon as he said that, that's what I was thinking. I'm not wasn't he playing Lawrence? Like, what's his name? Lawrence.
That's right. Lawrence Orbach.
Orbach, yeah.
Yeah.
He brought Lawrence Orbach to SNL from SCTV.
Synchronized swimming.
Okay, so we've got almost flying off the edge of a ski hill, almost getting drowning in front of a group of people.
Yeah,
and then mine is almost getting shot, and I'll tell you the story of that one. I was in 1993. I was the hot young upstart known as Corazon de Leon. If you can see me there, looking good. I was kind of a star, shall we say? I was with hot young ladies, which I'll grab one more screenshot so you can see what I'm talking about. When I'm not lying when I say that when I was there, I was very popular because I had blonde hair and young guy, you know. So this girl here that you can see, hold on, we gotta get rid of that one. I'm still working on this. Hold on, give me one more try. Okay. So you saw the girl. She was a hot girl, and she was in a band called the Tropicosas, which was like the Destiny's Child of Mexico. But she wasn't the Beyonce. She was kind of like the third in line. If you see her right here, right? So she was like the Michelle Smith, or what's her name? What's the name of the other Destiny's Child? We're not sure. So anyway, so I was I would walk out of the you guys don't even know this. Like I was kind of a big deal back then. You know, you guys are still calling me Irvass and, you know, calling me Steel Wool and stuff. And meanwhile, I'm, you know, cover of a magazine.
Whatever, Irvass.
Halloween Louders. So anyway, so there's always girls around and stuff like that. So I go and used to eat at this place. It was called Vips, which is Veeps, they called it, which is actually VIPs, which took me years to figure that out. I just thought it was called Veeps. And Veeps was like a Denny's type place. And you would go there after the show, and I'd always get a steak sandwich. You guys know my story.
Oh, yeah.
Fruit plate, which was good, and maybe like some kind of a parfait or something like that.
And salad with lettuce with no dressing because you like the taste of lettuce.
Yeah, just the taste of lettuce.
But
and
I couldn't.
A liter of vodka.
I wasn't drinking as much vodka back then. I was more of a beer guy. Yeah, it's only in my later years that I become a total lush. But so I'm eating at this place, Vips, and I cross the way. I see this girl sitting there with a guy, and the girl, you know, she's looking good. She's looking good. Oh yeah. And she's sitting with the guy. So I'm thinking, obviously, it's, you know, boyfriend, whatever. But she's kind of looking at me, and that happens sometimes. You can always tell when somebody recognizes you. And so she's looking at me kind of, and then she kind of gives me the old like, come here. So I'm like, okay, I'll go over and talk to this girl and her boyfriend or whatever. So at the time I could speak pretty good Spanish, and this girl spoke a little bit of English. So basically she was like, you know, big fan. This is my brother. And I was like, oh, cool. Your brother. You know, let me move in next to you here. So we sit there and hang out, and then I buy them dinner, maybe a steak sandwich. I don't know what they had. Which is the equivalent of buying, you know, a girl and a guy dinner at Denny's. It's not a lot of money, but, you know, at the time it was for me. And they go, do you want to go to a party? And I'm like, yes, I want to go to a party. Anything for you, you know, sweet cheeks, whatever the fuck I said. So we get in the car.
And we used to call girls back then.
Yeah, we get in the car, and the guy sits in the front, and the girl and I sit in the back. And so we're driving, and as we're driving, we're becoming fast friends, and, you know, kissing, you know, a little bit of kissing going on. And as you're kissing, I'm noticing the bright lights of the city, and you can kind of see them with your eyes closed, and you kind of look up once in a while, but the girl's kind of, you know, getting in there. I'm like, of course, I'm so stupid. I'm like 22 years old. Like, this girl's brother, like the brother's just going to let his sister make out with some, you know, foreign wrestler in the back of his car, but he did. Kidding. So as we're driving, the lights are getting less and less, like the bright light, dark, bright light, dark. And then it's like more dark, more dark, more dark. And finally, I'm kind of looking up. I'm like, where the fuck is this party? Like, Mexico City is a really big city, but once you get out of the city, there's nothing. It's like, there's no like suburbs. Right. It just gets from rich area, middle class area, super poor, and then dirt roads all over the place. Wow. So they pull over on the side of the highway. into this little kind of dirt road pull off thing. And the girl goes, you got to get out of the car. I'm like, well, was the party here? And they're like, no. And I turn around, the guy's turned around with a gun on me. And he goes, get out.
Shit.
And this is like not a fucking joke, man. Like, this is a gun. And if you're in the front seat and I'm in the back seat, it's like this far away from me, right? And you know the beginning of the James Bond movie where you see the gun and you see the little circle inside of it? That's because that's what a real gun looks like inside of the barrel, which I did not know until I was being held up on the side of the road in the middle of fucking Mexico.
Jeez. After some kissing, like, was it good kissing?
It was great kissing. Some grinding going
crazy?
on.
It's like, did she have to even kiss you to do that? That's just so weird.
Maybe she was a real fan. Maybe she was a real fan. Maybe my charms got her into it more.
You know what's funny is that we all were actually trying to impress girls during all of every one of our stories.
It's not always the way. It's not always the way. So I get out of the car and like I can barely see. You know, when you're driving into Winnipeg from Brandon, you can see the lights of the city in the distance. So you know the city's there, but you can't really see it. And the guy, and now he's just speaking, dirty Spanish, and he's like, get out of the car,
he's talking dirty to you.
Dirty Spanish, angry Spanish. And he's like, what's in your pocket? And like, fuck, dude, I didn't have 1,000 pesos, which at the time was about $300. I didn't have a lot of cash, but I had some cash. I don't even think I had a credit card. You just carry cash everywhere, but not a lot. Cause you always were told you might get robbed. It's Mexico City. So I maybe had 1,000 pesos, give me your money, gave it to him. Whatever else I had in my pocket, like there was nothing of value, and then he's just kind of standing there with the gun. And listen, anybody that says like, I've told this story before, like, why don't you just punch the guy or push the gun away? It's like, it doesn't work that way, man. This ain't a fucking, this ain't a Van Damme movie. This ain't Remo Williams where you just beat up 15 ninjas at the same time. You're just standing there. And the reason why you just stand there is you think there's no way he's going to pull the trigger. There's no way this is real. And then suddenly that's how people die. You know what I mean? Like if I was, a trained professional, I probably would take the gun away, whatever, but he's just standing there and your life is complete in his hands. And maybe it was an empty gun. I don't know. But at the time, who cares, right?
Who knows? Yeah. I would have been scared shitless. Help. I would have been screaming.
Yeah, well, I was just standing there. And then they get back in the car. I remember the girl went like, adios, mi amor, adios, my love, adios, mi amor, at the back of the car. And I remember two things. Like one, fuck, she's still so hot. And two, I fucking bought her dinner. Like, shit. Like what a loser. Like not only did I get roped in by her womanish charms, I bought the fucker dinner too.
But that was very nice of her, like to have to go through all that and then to hear something nice. It's like, at least you can sit there and go, okay, well, at least I didn't die and I got a nice goodbye.
And I asked around to other dudes, like there was a lot of foreign guys, like, have you ever seen this chick anywhere? And no one ever had. So anyway, so now it's great. They're gone. But now I got a whole other problem. I'm in the middle of freaking nowhere and there's no cell phones back then. I don't have any money. I don't have anything. And so I just start walking back towards the lights in the sky.
Oh man.
And I ain't talking about Van Halen.
Nice.
So I keep walking. And after about, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours, this like lonely dog comes next to me. And first it's like a dog, like a mongrel dog. What are you going to do? Then he's like my little friend for a while, like, littlest hobo.
Oh God. Just some gross dog.
You should make a cartoon about this thing. This sounds great now.
And then like a couple taxis drive by, and back then I had super blonde hair, and they would slow down and see the blonde haired gringo and just drive away. And finally, after, I don't know, like I said, 2 hours of walking, 3 hours, it might've been 6, it might've been 45 minutes, whatever. A taxi slows down. I get inside the taxi and I don't have any money. So they take me to the hotel, and thankfully I knew the manager of the hotel. So when I stopped at the hotel, I was like, just spare me, let me go inside. And the guy's like, no fucking way. Like, I've heard this. So I said, come inside with me. So the guy came inside with me, and the manager, who was a super nice guy, his name was Mr. Alfonso, gave me like, $50 or whatever it was to pay off the taxi driver. And I had to go to my office the next day to get an advance to come back and pay back, the hotel manager.
Crazy. Oh my God. Wow. That's so, thank God you weren't shot and killed.
I know. And I was thinking, like, really? if I get shot out here,
Yeah.
Like my mom will never know where I am. Like, you know, like you guys will never know.
Ryan
where
and
I
I
am.
would never know. We
You
were
would never
writing
know.
letters. Yeah. We
Like
would
if
write
they
a letter,
shot me
you
and
wouldn't get a letter.
threw me into the you know, cavern or a chasm, or is it chasm at Dream of the Blue Turtle?
Chasm. Well, let's go with chasm.
Let's go with chasm then. So so there you go. There's the 3 near-death experiences. Flying off the side of a mountain on a skis, drowning
in Yeens,
drowning in front of people with a turtle, a turtle floaty thing, or dying on the side of the road, getting shot like a mongrel in the middle of a foreign country.
But a really, really, really sweet goodbye. So
really nice. Really,
well, yeah, exactly.
Adios,
I didn't get a sweet goodbye. People were looking at me like they were scared on the beach, and then I tried to pay the guy. He was annoyed. It was really just nothing. You got a sweet goodbye. You can live with that.
And I think that's a good way to end this episode, with a sweet goodbye of
that's true. Although I might say that I think at the end of my near-death experience, I think I did get laid at the end of that, but that's me.
Oh my God.
And you got to hear the new loudness, and you didn't have a place for me to stay on your fucking floor or anywhere.
Yeah. You stayed on the floor. Come on.
Of course I did.
Of course you did.
It wasn't planned, and the girls weren't happy. But,
as usual.
That's usual. Nothing new for you.
But guys, another amazing episode here of the Winnipeggers. Thank you guys for joining us. Now that we have these monumental ratings of about 10,000 each, I think that's enough to buy us a couple cans of beans to keep this going.
Right on. Adios.
Adios.
Adios, mi amor.